Okay. So I gave up some of my time for you. I'm just telling. Okay. So my name is Karen Massey. I am a registered dietitian nutritionist. I work in the extension office as well. And I hope you don't feel like you're being hammered by us because we're 2 out of 3 up here. And we actually consider Marsha an honorary extension agent because she works so much with us. But this is exactly what we love about the jobs that we have. We celebrated Extension, Colorado State University Extension celebrated their 100th year in Colorado just last year. So we've been around for a while. We're having to change things just like local food and food production is having to change. But as a dietitian, I'm very interested in our food system. So one of the ways that I fit into this is that I went to one of the county commissioners' meetings and kind of overheard what I would consider a very unproductive dialogue between people who are trying to do local agriculture and the county. And I came to the realization that if we really want to talk about this stuff, those formal hearings are not a place where people can actually dialogue about it. So I have been working, and many of you might have taken my online survey. Did any of you take the online survey that we had going? Raise your hand. Yeah, thank you so much. I went over the results, and we had 79 people take it. And those of you who took it, okay, I think I said it would take 10 minutes. What? 30 minutes? Was that how long you? I talked to a number of people who said, yeah, I started that, but I didn't finish. But we ended up with 79 people who took that online survey. It was very open-ended. My goal was not to get answers. It was to find out what the communication was that was going on in the valley. And what I discovered is that a lot of times we're talking past each other when it comes to local food. I wanted to share with you some of the things that we discovered. First of all, looking at the results of that survey, it just reiterated in my mind that food is really complex and it's interconnected. And some of the things that you all said that you were concerned about were energy, you're concerned about the environment, you're concerned about our economy and our public health. So those are some of our concerns, but there are also some of the opportunities that we have. If we grow local, we can save our carbon footprint. We can put money back into our local economy. So and many times, a lot of the things that were the barriers were also the potential upside of growing our local economy. The other thing from all of the responses is, boy, is food personal. And in fact, I would go so far as to say it's the second most intimate thing that you do, is eat. And I'm not going to explain that. Okay. So if you stop and think about food, it has so much to do with how you're raised and your culture and your self-identity. And what I saw in that survey was a lot of passionate people who want to do something better for their health and for the community. I also, because we had a real even mix of people who represented business, farming and ranching, government, there was also an equally passionate group of people who felt like protecting our health and our environment was why regulation is important. So, in fact, I was sitting there, I would joke to Todd, I'm like, oh, this is crazy. You know, we have people who want less regulation, but they want to make sure that what is grown on the land is GMO-free, which to me is a form of kind of constricting people. So we have these kind of conversations about what we want in this valley. And what was very clear is that we have a lot of discussions to have. And having it down at the county is not the place to have it. In environments like this is the place that we should have those conversations. Because in the final analysis, local food has a lot to do with what we value. And I honestly believe, and I can speak for the people I know here from the county, that we want to have a local food economy. We want to support a local food economy. We just have to figure out the best way to kind of organize it and have those really important discussions. So my goal is to carry this conversation on. And I would like, I have back at the TSU Extension booth back there, I have a sign-up sheet, and what I intend to do going forward is to have another opportunity for us to dialogue only at tables where we are sitting with a mixture of people who represent these different interests. And I honestly believe that as we converse about this a little bit more, we will start to become a little bit more aware of how we take local foods to the next step. Right now, there are a lot of things that we can do. One of the things that we've been doing, so many people are interested in food. I've been working with the Northwest Colorado Food Coalition. It's a group of us who are involved in food on a variety of levels. Lift Up, Live Well Northwest Colorado, Human Services that does food stamps and the school lunch program. And we did a food assessment. And I have just a few copies up here, and I'm going to leave it up here. But we found out some very interesting things about how we feed our citizens here. I know a lot of people look at Routt County and they say, we are so affluent, we are so blessed, nobody is needing anything in Routt County. Well, let me just break to and you can go to the Routt County website, Extension website, and get the full report. But the executive summary basically says 14% of our population is food insecure. That's meaning that in any given week or month, they don't know if they have enough to eat. Now, 14% in some places might not be a problem. I think in a community as blessed as we are, that's too bad. But the bigger problem is most of those people, 54%, are not eligible for any kind of local or federal assistance because they make too much because what it costs to live here to qualify for any federal programs. Now that's just our population. If you break it down to kids, 17.7% of the kids in our county are food insecure. 24% of those are not eligible for any local or federal program. We've got a problem. And I think local food might be the answer. Because a lot of people who are growing local food, or when we grow our gardens, we can grow an extra row and give it to Lift Up. There's a lot of things we can do. So local food has a lot of answers for us. And, you know, I say local food, I got to be honest with you, when I think local food, I'm thinking fruits, vegetables, meats, eggs. You know, if somebody makes a cinnamon roll and they sell it in Routt County and they bake it in Routt County, it's local food, right? Yeah. So there's a lot of different kinds of local food. But I'm really interested in the fruits and vegetables as a dietitian. If you look at the body mass index data for Colorado, I'm sure you've all heard that Colorado is the leanest state in the country, although we're all getting fatter fast. So we're we're one of the leaner states, or we are the leanest state. Did you realize that our kids are 23rd in terms of a level of obesity and overweight? So while all of us in this room, as adults, we might be patting ourselves on the back, our kids are not doing so well. They're not faring nearly as well. And what I find most alarming is that our kids are the second fastest growing in rates of increase of obesity and overweight in the country. So we are catching up big time. Our kids are in the middle of the pack. And a lot of that has to do with how they're eating. So local foods has a lot to answer to. It has a lot that we can do. This local food assessment, I think, has a lot to tell people. We are taking this, the Northwest Colorado Food Coalition and Live Well Northwest Colorado are taking this to a lot of leader groups. We have a 20-minute presentation, and if you know of anybody or any group that wants or needs to hear this information, we've got a nice little snappy program that we can put together for them. So let me wrap up and say that there are some options. Todd, can you put back up the CSU website?
Maybe.
Maybe. I want to show you a few things. But some of you may or may not be aware of the fact that we have some community gardens down by the county. We used our master gardeners to kind of oversee that. Can you go to the nutrition, health, and food safety? If you go to our CSU website, you'll find yourself, he takes you to the ag thing, I take you to food safety. Go to the farm to table food safety. This is an awesome website that can take you to a lot of things in terms of the good practices for agriculture, for small area agriculture, ways to grow safely, prepare safely. If you scroll down a little bit, Todd, let me see if I can figure out where I put that. Okay, Colorado Farm to Table. Do you see? Oh no, that's just the search. There is another website, and I think you can link it from here, but it's called Colorado Farm to Market. And the link's on here somewhere. I can't remember where we put it. But it is a website that is put together by Extension and the Farmers Market Group and Colorado Department of Agriculture, and it will say, what do you want to grow, what do you want to sell, and it'll tell you what regulations you might need to consider. So if you are growing something and you want to take it to market, there's just so many resources right on this if you're growing food or if you want to take anything to market. How many of you have heard of the cottage food bill? Okay, about a year ago, there's a few of you who haven't. About a year ago, our state legislature passed something called the Cottage Food Bill, and the Cottage Food Bill actually is a step in the right direction. They're allowing anybody who wants to produce something locally to sell it directly to the consumer, and only need their home kitchen. They don't need to have a commercial kitchen. Wow. There are some limitations on it. One of which is they want you to have some kind of a food safety course. And at the Extension office, we've been helping people because they wanted it to be the National Restaurant Association certificated class, which is really like overkill because it's a pretty extensive course. Recently, they just passed an amendment to that cottage food bill that will make it a lot easier to get that food safety credential. You don't need to do CertSafe anymore, at least if the governor signs this latest version. But if any of you are interested in taking your product to market, come into the Extension office. We can help you work through things. We can help you communicate to the people in the county who can help you. But probably the best thing you can do, and before I hand this off to Tracy, I do have some information about the cottage food bill, and I have put it up here if any of you are interested. But probably the best thing you can do is join our Yampa Valley Food Co-op. And Tracy is the person who's in charge of the Yampa Valley Food Co-op now. Do you want to share that? Yeah. Great segue.